Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be featuring one of Novi Unlimited games that's Tangledeep, as you can see over here. There was a DLC released called The Legend of Sharra, and we're going to be kind of poking around, seeing what there is to see, and kind of giving everything a good try. So if you're new to this game and you kind of haven't really seen anything on it yet, I think this is going to be kind of a fun experience, and you're going to get to see some fun takes on the RPG genre, as well as some integrations from other genres that you may enjoy. Pocket monsters, you know, more casual things, roguelike, and we'll kind of discuss those different elements as we continue through the game. So let's go ahead and get started here. So first things first, you can use your keyboard, you can use your keyboard and mouse, or you can do what I'm doing using a controller. I actually like to use the D-pad because it is kind of a block board turn-based game, and using the joystick just kind of makes it a little bit too loose for movement, in my opinion. So I like to use the D-pad just because it's a little sharper as far as making sure you're going the way you want to go. So let's go ahead and start a new game in slot 2. And we want to do Sharra's story. So as you can see, we do get a bit of an option here, and I've kind of played around in this a little bit, but let's go ahead and see what the DLC story is. Tangledeep calls to me, and its secrets may change the world. Sharra is called to a greater purpose. Abandoned in the harsh wilds of Tangledeep as a child, she resolves to forge her own path ahead. A challenging adventure for Tangledeep veterans. Spend JP to increase stats and learn abilities from a large randomized pool through special chests and events. So this one is going to be a little harder. I would say let's go ahead and give it a shot, and if it turns out to be too crazy and we can't actually do anything, then we'll come back and we'll try the original one. So now we get to choose what kind of game difficulty we want to have. This isn't a game where you can change it midway through, unlike some other games that are like on DS and that sort of thing. So let's check this out. Heroic mode is available in both versions of the game, both the original and the DLC, and in this one it's permadeath. So remember, we talked about that roguelike element. This is kind of where that comes into play, and it lets you know this is the way that Tangledeep is meant to be played. There are ways to kind of supplement and make sure that your subsequent heroes can get a little more of a leg up, which is why it's a roguelike and not just like full rogue where we're just going to delete everything as soon as you die. But this is kind of the way that the developer intended it to be played. Then we have adventure mode, where you'll return to camp. You'll lose some of your money, you'll lose your job points, but if you're uncomfortable with roguelikes, maybe you've never played anything with permadeath before, or maybe you're just kind of looking for more of that story element, you're not wanting to really concern yourself so much with accidentally putting yourself in a bad situation and then having to start over, or at least mostly over, then you'll probably want to go with this mode. I've actually been playing on adventure mode. There is another mode in the base game that just like completely erases everything. So it's not like you die and then you have to, you know, start at the bottom of the levels again. It's like you don't get to save anything, you don't get to put any money away, your entire file gets deleted, and you actually start over. Which seems a little bit too intense for us for today, but let's try this one because I do want the chance to get to talk to you guys about what we're doing. So now we get to choose 2 special skills in Tangledeep. They're called feats. They're permanent bonuses, and we get to just kind of choose what extra things we want that fit our gameplay style. So I like having scavenger. I like finding loot. As a seasoned RPG player, in my experience, the best loot is in the field, not in the shops. So we want to get more loot out in the field because it's better. Then we want, let's see, we don't want Notorious because that one, a lot more champion monsters will appear and come searching for us. We don't want that. We can have our food taste better, be more effective. We can have monsters be less aggressive. We can examine enemies. I normally don't do that. Quick step, take an instant 1 square move before your enemies react. This one is pretty universally useful. So let's go ahead and take that one and finish up. Where did everyone go? Mother? Father? That's how you know that this takes place in like olden times when they don't go mom, dad, they go mother, father. Hello? I'm scared. Alright, so now we get to move around. So this is Sharra, we're Sharra, and we're in the middle of Tangledeep. So you can see there's kind of like a fog of war element going on, which is pretty cool. To our Sharra, you told us so many times that you have some greater purpose. You awoke so many times from frightful nightmares, yelling that we were all holding you back. I'm sorry that none of us could figure out what that purpose was, but at least we're not stopping you anymore. Tangledeep is dangerous, but so are you. You're stronger than any challenge you'll ever face. Never forget that. It kind of seems like our family just ditched us here. Yeah, they left me on purpose, but I never meant to hurt anyone. I'll never see my family again. I'm all alone. Dude, did they just like knock her out and abandon her in Tangledeep? What? You are needed. Fix. The only repair. Your purpose. Your power. The world need you. Oh my. Tangledeep, I've heard your call for years and I am ready. I'm not the scared child abandoned by cowards in the forest years ago. I'm in command of my power. Today is the day I find answers. The first test of my calling will be to see if others will follow. Building a better world starts one person at a time. And I vow to lead those who follow me toward a better life. I know my allies are waiting for me in Tangledeep. I can feel it. Welcome to Sharra's Story. In this game mode, you'll experience the story of Tangledeep from a new perspective, and with unique gameplay. If you haven't played through the third boss of the main story, we recommend that you do that first. Oh well. In this mode, you no longer have a healing flask, and stepping on a fountain will instead recover some resources instantly. Also, you cannot ever visit Riverstone Camp, so your portal can only be used for fast travel elsewhere. This means no Dreamcaster, Magic Grove, or Corral. Well, that's a bummer. This really is like a harder version of the base game. Because in the base game, you have like lots of cool fun things you can do. You can grow magic trees. Like, we'll probably dabble in this one a little bit, and then I'll show you guys what the base game is like. It is a bummer, though. Sharra does not gain experience, nor does she learn abilities by spending job points. Instead, you use job points to purchase permanent stat boosts in the skill screen. Each boost costs more than the last. So that's pretty standard for this style of game. Like, Dark Souls does it. A lot of, like, throwback RPGs do it, like Trails in the Sky, that sort of thing. There are 2 ways to learn abilities. You can learn skills from other jobs by opening Pandora's boxes, which will guarantee a choice between one of 2 random skills. That's interesting, because in the base game, Pandora's boxes just give you some really good loot, but they increase the difficulty of all the monsters in Tangledeep, like all of them. So, like, I personally didn't open any after I opened the first one, and it told me what it was. But in this one, it doesn't look like they do that. You will also be guaranteed a unique Sharra ability when you rest at a campfire. Choose your abilities carefully, as they'll be different each time you play. Alright, so let's grab our sword. Let's Alright. Let's take a little peek here. There we go. Okay. So we've got a little fountain here. Oh, and it looks like we can actually have HP above our maximum. So you see that little blue bit on my HP bar? So it looks like we have more than our max, which is really cool. You got a power-up. These glowing orbs restore stamina or energy when you step on them. You'll find power-ups at random by defeating monsters or striking with a melee weapon like a sword or axe. The chance of finding power-ups increases with your Guile stat, and if you have low stamina or energy, but the chance decreases if the monster is not challenging. Trivial and worthless monsters probably won't drop them at all. So let's just take a peek here. Yeah, this is definitely what I want. We don't actually start out with any armor or anything, but I'm going to explain to you guys the turn-based system here. So every time we move like this, that's a turn. And you can see over here at the very top of my HUD, there's a little bar that says extra turn 4%. And every time I move, it's going up. So each time I go a block, it's a turn. I can also move diagonally at one point or another, but you see we've got a treasure chest. So it automatically equips for me because I don't have anything in that slot. And let's take a look at our spells. So we've got a shield. We've got a thing called Taming Blow, and you can see it takes 20 energy to use. Strike at a monster with non-elemental energy and may permanently charm weakened creatures. You may control up to 2 creatures in this fashion. So that's pretty cool. And then we have Quick Step, take an instant 1 square move before enemies react. So this one might give us some pet stuff. But I saw a monster over here. Let's see if we can't engage it. Here we go. Just a slime. And let's see if we can do this. See, now we're engaging, and you can see the combat log way off to the side there. So you can see it hits me for damage, what move it uses, if we get any stat effects. So right now we've been poisoned by a weak venom, and you can see it affecting our stamina. That was a crit there, so now we have a sling, and we got some energy from that. So you could see the blue bar actually went up again. We got pebble pouches, and you'll see the pebble pouch was automatically equipped, and it actually gave us a new ability here. So we could throw a stone. It's just a magic pebble. It always hits stuff. It's not super powerful or anything, but you can see, let's see if we can get him with this. Yes. So we've selected the fly, and we can throw our rock at him. And now we come over and we engage, get a little bit of a power up, and ooh, this is actually a fun thing to show you. The ground is actually sparkling right here, and what that means is there's treasure. So if we look at the far side of the HUD, you'll see that we found some sturdy boots, and that we also equipped those sturdy boots. So we're still only on the first level, and we found quite a lot of things already. We've equipped new weapons and accessories. We've got some armor, some boots, so things are going pretty well. Now this is going to tell us a little bit about the environment. So water allows you to more easily dodge ranged attacks and empowers lightning. So it's pretty awesome, unless you're fighting electric enemies. Lava hurts you and can hurt most monsters. Mud can root you in place. Certain terrain may enhance or decrease elemental damage too. Check the ground before you move. So that's some helpful information. And again, every time I'm moving a block, it's a turn. And I can show you guys, you can see we resisted being rooted. And And now we can hit this fly So we have our ranged attack, and in order to use the melee attack, we literally just move into the monster. That's how you use the melee. And I see another monster up here. But there's treasure. Let's see, what do we get? A Qatar of Frost. Let's take a little peek at that. Is that gonna be better? No. So this one would actually decrease both our damage and our defense. So we're gonna leave that as unequipped. And now we have a salamander. So we can hit him. And you can see he actually does have a ranged attack. There we go. Get some more stamina. And there's actually... There we go. So here I can show you how to move diagonally. This is just kind of through corners. We found some money on the ground, which is always helpful. Money is... it's not like it's particularly hard to come by in this game, but you do spend it pretty quickly. Now, let's see if we can get this guy to be our pet. Maybe. So I'm wonding if by hitting them weak monsters, they still have to have XP. Like, you can't kill them with that. So we'll try it again with the next monster we see. How about this guy? This is a good choice. So we hit him, and there we go. Let's try that. Alright, see, now he's my pet, so he's gonna follow me around. But he doesn't have any HP, though. So that's definitely a problem. But at least he can, like, distract for a little while, right? He can distract for a little while. So now we have a rat, and we'll see if we can't get our fly to, like, maybe help a little bit. Alright, now we have two monsters that we've dominated. Neither of them has really any HP, which I think is pretty funny. But you can see we actually do recover HP as we walk around, which is nice. And we're gonna go up a level. You found a side area. Ooh, side areas are fun. Side areas are marked with a treasure chest in the upper left. So you should be able to see way up in that corner the title of the side area, and then you'll see a little treasure chest symbol. So we have Jelly Grotto, hard, with the little treasure chest symbol. So this is a difficult side area. Side areas can have extra rewards, challenges, and characters to meet. Once you're done here, go back the way you came to return to the main dungeon path. So there's going to be a larger amount of loot here. So I'm actually going to put this in slot 3. So we're going to use that instead of the sling. And I guess I should probably explain this. So these are the weapons that we're currently potentially using. So this is our main one. And then we got a couple ranged here. But this allows us to switch, like, it just gives us a hotkey menu for everything. So let's go ahead and throw a rock at this guy. And now you can see my pet rat fought the enemy rat. And unfortunately he died, but that's damage that I didn't have to take. So that's always helpful. Now we've dominated the slime, and he's gonna come along with us. And monsters don't see you immediately, and you can get different stat bonuses that will lower the range at which monsters will see you, will lower the threshold of nearness needed for them to attack you, all of that. Let's see, we're gonna go ahead and shield here, And you could see that AoE effect. Hopefully you did. I know there was a lot of stuff in the way, but we got a big pumpkin. But some enemies have AoE attacks, and it'll be denoted by all of the blocks that would be affected having a white outline. So there's another electric jelly up here. So you see that time we did get hit by it. And now we're just kind of taking out all these guys. And here's a fire one. So we did take some damage there, but it was less because we were in the water. Now, unfortunately, like, I've been playing a character that allows you to summon like a Flora familiar that helps you fight stuff, which is way helpful. In my opinion. So you see there's a bomb now. So we want to make sure that we're keeping an eye out for different sorts of AoE attacks, keeping an eye on our HP, as well as making sure that we're using our spells to the best of our ability. Congratulations, you've unlocked the Rager feat for the save slot. You may now select this feat for new characters. Side area cleared, we got 42 job points. This area is now free of monsters. Go back the way you came to the rest of the dungeon. Use your escape portal to warp to the entrance when ready. So there were 2 bombs. I don't think we would have made it out anyway. Sharra faced many tough enemies and escaped dire situations. Blurbsus in Jelly Grotto got the better of her this time, but she did not break. Nothing would stop her from fulfilling her purpose. Sharra left behind a lot of gold during her escape and spent a bunch of job points recovering. We lost 58 health in the last 3 turns. Find ways to reduce this. It gives you some like suggestions. We are in a difficult area. Check your gear and heal up before venturing into these areas, or level up on a lower level first. Which is kind of amusing because this was a side area for level 1. So, what I'd like to do is show you guys some of the base game, because this particular version of the game doesn't have a lot of the stuff that you would normally have when you play Tangledeep. So let's look at slot 1, and I just want to like show you guys kind of in a gentler setting what you have available. So this is the camp that we're not allowed to ever visit in the DLC, and we've got lots of stuff we can do. We've got weapons merchants, general item merchants. We've got this guy over here who will let us store items and money in anticipation of the next adventurer. This moose guy, this deer elk guy, that's like right up there by the waterfall, he will teach you weapons arts, and it costs job points to do. So like, instead of using your job points to learn more abilities, like I have been, you can use those job points to increase your base skills with different weapons. So let's go ahead and go talk to him. And so you can like learn all of these. The issue is that they're more expensive. Like each one is more expensive, and I'm pretty sure that's no matter if you like my very first one, right? Let's say it's 400 job points and I use it for sword mastery. If I then say, hey, I want to get level 1 mastery for axe mastery, then it's going to be more than 400 points. So again, this kind of harkens back to other roguelikes that have RPG elements like Dark Souls, where no matter where you put your stat points, the next stat point is going to cost more. So it's just a matter of how many stat points have you accumulated versus what categories you're putting them in. The number of stat points that you have used determines the price of the next one. Then we have down here, this is the grotto and the corral. So the last time I was here, I planted some trees in my grotto, and it looks like we have some stuff ready to pick. So let's go ahead and go do that. We got a garnet leaf, which is the first time I've ever had one of those. So, no, I guess it'll probably be here. Maybe. No, it's here. Okay. Garnet leaf. Crystallized leaves are rare mutations that result from saplings imbued with flow as they are planted. And just to clarify, flow is the fey magic of Tangledeep. That's why a lot of the NPCs that we meet are going to be animal-esque in their appearance, because the more flow, aka magic, fey juice that you have in your body, the more like an animal you look. So that's pretty cool. We can't really use this quite yet, but this is our grotto here. We've got 2 trees, and you can see like there's a bird over there. There's this guy who's a frog, a very, very cute frog, but still a frog. This lady over here who's got like maybe some fox or cat looks to her. We've got a monster in our corral. He's super happy. I named him Venusaur because he is my pet and he looks like a Venusaur. And your pets you can actually take with you into battle. They can die, which is a bummer. But you can also just like release them, and if they're as happy as I make my pets, because my pets have to be happy, that like if I were to release him right now when he's got 10 happiness points, he's joyous, he might actually leave me a scroll or a boon of some kind in the Tangledeep that would like give me better skills or just really help me out. So that's super cool. I'm not going to take him out right now because he's kind of a weak monster. And I want to show you guys the other stuff that we have. And this is just one of many classes that you can choose. So I'm a Floromancer, but you can see like I chose Scavenger for one of my feats for this file as well. And I also chose Toughness. It gives me more HP, a little more survivability. My general strategies in games like this is whoever survives the longest wins. I'm generally a more defensive player. I'm not super aggressive, so I like to have more health to play with. Then we got all of my fun items, all of my consumables and stuff. And the consumables can be anything from food to traps and like fire bottles, stuff like that, that is just like a one-time use. All the way to, I've got my king shovel here. I'm sorry, my knight shovel that will help me dig through walls. So that's pretty cool. We've got bandages, all sorts of cool stuff here, things you can sell. I've got my abilities, so you can see I've got all these learned and all slotted. If I had more job points, I could buy some more. And then there is a chef element in this game, so you can discover new recipes. That's what all these are. They're unknown by combining different ingredients at the campfire, or you could just kind of use the ones that you have, and as long as you have the right ingredients, you can make these at campfires. And the reason I know these is because I actually found a scroll in the Tangledeep that talked about what you can do with a bag of grain. I've never found a bag of grain in the Tangledeep. Maybe it's just a shop item, but that's how I know these ones, because you need a bag of grain to do it. Then we have rumors. I don't have any right now, but what this means is sometimes NPCs will have stories. They're essentially side quests that you can do within a certain time period. Some of them have conditions, so I'm pretty sure this lady has one. Yes, Tangledeep has many tales, as leaves and branches. Legends stand tall like ancient trees, but they're grounded in winding roots and countless stories. Would you like to make some stories of your own? Here's one way to make a name for yourself. Defeat Scar the Panthox. Scar is terrorizing Cedar Caverns, which is on floor 5. That's what 5F means, 5th floor. End their evil reign once and for all. And then it gives us our rewards. We get Vanishing Hide Armor and 136 XP. I am not nearly powerful enough. So no. We're not going to do that. But sometimes there's like, hey, take this item and go leave it somewhere. Or take it by something and see what happens. Or get to this floor and find this thing, but you can't use your healing flasks until you get there. So there's quite a lot of stuff that you can do. It just depends on, you know, what's available at the time. So now I'm going to show you. I get to summon my cool Flora sidekick. And in that case, you saw he had his AoE ready. And I should probably, like, stop the turn and show you guys that next time. But because we killed him before it went off, it was canceled. So that's nice. And we've got an upper staircase here. There's 2 of them. Let's try this one. This actually takes us to level 2, so we don't want that one right now. We want this one, because this is going to be a side place. Jelly Grotto, difficulty is trivial, and here's a guy. So it does look like I actually died earlier. So this one is on the easier mode where it's you don't die, you just get sent back to town. And your level progress in Tangledeep is revoked, so you have to start at floor 1 again. But I actually helped this guy find his jelly. So at least we know you don't have to redo everything. But let's continue on here. We'll go to floor 2. Floor 3. So as you go up, you'll see new monsters. So we've had slimes, we've had the like dragonfly things, and a salamander. Now we're going to start running into more difficult monsters, things that have different types of abilities. So we have to be prepared. So we got our sling. Let's smack him. We'll smack him again. And now we hit him with our melee. We basically took no damage, but we still get the power-up drop, which is great. And here we've got a fire jelly and one of those Venusaur things. So I'm going to show you guys another ability that I have, which is really, really cool. I like it a lot. We're actually going to move a little closer. So you can see this one, it grows across the ground, and they're like little thorny plants, and it expands and expands for a certain number of turns and then vanishes. But as you could see, it did a lot of damage and totally just soloed one of the monsters that was there. Like, we didn't even have to touch it. Okay, now we have another electric jelly, and these new terrain pieces. This is lava. There's no real fire or anything around here. We just have pools of lava, which I guess is fine, but, you know. So now we have our ranged, and then we can hit with our melee. So hitting with the ranged while you can is definitely really nice, because that's more damage that you are able to do without risking your own HP. So let's try another one of these. Let's do... let's do the Bed of Thorns. So that creates, as you can see, a 3x3 square of thorns for a certain number of turns. If the enemy goes through it or stands on it, it'll hurt them, but it's fine for us. You can see some of the enemies do have ranged attacks as well. Let's go kill this guy. See, that was a crit, so that's really nice. I've actually leveled up my person here to have a little bit higher crit, which is way nice. And we actually already done this one as well, so I'm going to just go ahead and exit that. It was just a maze, but since you can move diagonally, it really isn't that hard. That's why it said easy. In the top corner, this one is going to be a lot more water. As you can see, we've got some rhinoceros beetles going on in this level, new types of enemies, and obviously the electric jelly, which we don't really want to mess with in the water because it's going to do a lot more damage. Alright, so my Flora guy totally beat the crap out of that beetle. And this is what a Pandora's box looks like. So if I were to open this, it would give me some really cool loot, potentially. But it would also increase the difficulty of all of the monsters in Tangledeep. Like, every single one, forever. So I just kind of leave these alone because I feel like it's not really worth it for like a couple pieces of loot that I could probably buy or find regularly as I progress, instead of just making it super difficult for me. So now we're in the 5th floor. This is actually where that side quest that we had at the village, at the campsite, was talking about. But we didn't take that. We didn't take that side quest. And you can see how when I press this button to do my ranged attack, you can see the sling pop up in front of me. And I'm bleeding right now, and that's what that like red cut that's dripping is for above my head. It's showing that I'm suffering from a status effect and it's bleeding. So here's another Pandora's box. But we're gonna leave it alone because I don't want it. I don't want it. And these crabs are really annoying. As you can see, they kind of rush in and they can paralyze you, and now I can't hit it until I'm unparalyzed. And you can see it actually killed my Flora helper. So I'm going to summon a new one. It does take energy to do that, but I have plenty of it, so there we go. So do keep in mind, I have leveled up a decent amount since I started this file. So it may look a little easier than it actually is. There we go. So that guy actually beat up my Flora creature pretty badly. But we could still kind of like poke around. You can see all these broken wooden boxes. Usually means that like I've already been here, I've already opened up all this stuff. So now we have a side area. Farm fresh carrots, please take 1. It's on the honor system. I was here before and I took 2. I'm gonna take 2 again this time. Okay, so now our job really is to find the way up. We want to go upstairs. So there is actually a way to tell. Here we go. So we've got highest floor. So you can see in your adventure, like, how high have you gotten, how many days have passed, how many monsters have you beaten. This is an odd one because I only remember doing 1 champion monster or anything that like looked like a champion monster. So I'm not really sure how they define what a champion monster is, but you get more rewards for beating them. You got a step counter. You can change jobs, but like, I really like this job. Get your playtime, and it also counts the Pandora's boxes that you have, and it tells you what the consequences are for that. So the number of Pandora's boxes that Mirai has opened, total bonuses from boxes open. I get a plus 0.75 loot quality, a plus 1% gold find, and then I get plus 1.3% monster damage and plus 1% monster defense. That was from opening one. So you can imagine if you just opened all of them, how impossible even like the lower levels would be unless you had just crazy good, oh, I haven't seen this monster before, unless you just had like crazy good everything. Alright, now we're going to... No. We're going to do... that. So now I have a little turret. This is my little turret guy. And he hits stuff for me. And then disappears. I'm gonna summon another one of these guys. I like to always have one if I can, because it's a really good way to distract damage away from yourself. So now I'm gonna do this. There we go. So the Bed of Thorns did a decent amount of damage because he was in the middle of gearing up for a special attack. So he wasn't moving, he was just doing that. So I got multiple turns worth of damage from my Bed of Thorns, which is generally ideal. Maybe this is a champion monster. Maybe it's the skull. I could see that. And you can see there's like a rogue enemy over there. And I'm actually going to do this guy. I'm not actually sure what that light was above my head, but the floral monster took out the rogue, so we didn't really have to do anything. Now, I don't know what this fire thing is over here. We're gonna leave it alone for right now. And this is actually really close to where I died. So if you go up one of these stairs, it actually starts a battle with a dude. So you can see here, Bird Boy's territory. Uninvited punks will be thrashed. No girls allowed. And this might actually be the first boss. The Duke's lunch stash, ask before eating. He's the butt, so we're going to take all of it. So this is Dirkbeak's Den. So both of these go that way, but you're going to see here, this is kind of cool. This is a special area. So we're gonna fight these guys. There we go. That's kind of a gross looking skull in it. Ooh, he got a shield of some kind. I want my dude back. And we're also going to do the Bed of Thorns. I'm gonna have a potion. Summon another bro. He keeps throwing me over walls. There we go. Okay, so the horrific Goliath beetle was defeated. So, he had kind of a more messed up looking skull. He was bigger and it gave us some neat things. I'm gonna summon another floral bro. Have another healing potion, and the healing potions are interesting. The items, like the recovery items, are based on turns. So it's over a certain number of turns that you get everything that you wanted from that item. So you can't just insta-heal like you can in other games, which is frustrating, but the game is not designed to be like crazy easy. So you can kind of see the merit behind that mechanic because it forces you to do more planning, to be more conscious of your overall health and stats. So, like, I get it. Alright. I want to do a bed of thorns. Eat it! There we go. I want to smack him. Smack him on the thorns. See, that's perfect because you get them to stay on the thorns the whole time. And you get to do, like, way, way more damage because of that. Let's just see. So, it looks like this area is a lot bigger than it kind of looks to be immediately. And this is, like, the cool thing about that whole fog of war aspect. Ooh, this guy. That guy had a decent amount of XP. We're gonna summon, another floral bro. Because I like them. And we're always on the lookout for treasure. Like, that's what we do these exploring bits for, is for treasure. You never want to miss out on that. So because we have the ability, I'm actually going to... Well, that ability didn't actually hit it at all, so that's unfortunate. But that's okay. It's important to, like, know how to use what you have. And we got another enemy here. It's gonna attack my floral bro, which is fine. And these annoying crabs. I hate these crabs. Here we go. There we go. Alright, excellent. Excellent. So this one probably won't tell me when all of the monsters are dead. I think that with this type of level here, if you stick around long enough, they'll just keep spawning. But we do get to learn some new abilities, which is cool. We have enough job points to do that. Now, Vine Swing, I'm not really sure what this does. It's like grab a nearby vine and swing to it. But is that like an escape tactic? It might be. I'm not entirely sure. But we've got photosynthesis, which increases the power of your plant may summons for a brief time, which is super cool. The Floriconda, the Spitting Plant, Creeping Death, and the Bed of Thorns deal 20% more damage for 8 turns, which is great. I want that one. We're going to do that one. Yeah. So now you can see, if we go here, that's actually on my hotkey bar. And these will not change their hotkey appearance if you're using the controller, because the game just automatically finds the controller. So you'll see the hotkeys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you can scroll the bar down to use a different set if you want to. That's kind of how it works. There's another rogue over here. I'd like to go kill him. There we go. So the saboteur has been defeated. Unfortunately, my flower bro has also been defeated, but we're going to make another one. And this takes us to the Riverstone Waterway in the 4th floor. And unfortunately, ouch. There we go. So I did take some damage. I'm going to have a potion. I took some damage because of the lava there. Whew! 2 crits in a row. Excellent. There we go. So you can see I'm actually doing a decent amount of damage to some of these guys. I got a huge uptick in energy, so we're going to summon another flower bro. There's another Pandora's box, but as usual, we're just going to kind of leave that be. Dang it. One day I will get the diagonal move going well. So this guy also has that skull, so he's probably a champion level enemy. We got some brined fish. I have never gotten one of those before. So you can see, you know, it's kind of designed. You gotta make your way around certain terrain-based obstacles. There we go. And there are a lot of things that you can just kind of destroy to get out of your way, or that might contain some treasure. So, unlike the Legend of Sharra, when I hit those fountains, I get more flasks. And the flasks are here. This is my healing flask. You can hold an infinite number of them. But every time you get a fountain, it only gives you 2 more. So you have to be careful about overusing them. There we go. We got the crit, excellent. There was a rogue over here that I'd like to smack. There we go. So he was invisible for a short time, making him difficult to hit, but we did it anyway. Now, for this guy, I am going to use this. And you can see each move I take, my ability to summon my flora goes up or down. And now I can summon that guy and we win. So I got some flowering spice bark seeds, which I can actually plant in my grove, which is pretty cool, not gonna lie. So that's actually where we started from on this level. But you can see, like, we went up through floors 4 and 5, and this was not here. So we are actually going through like a new area of like floors 4 and 5, which is pretty neat. This is like a separate pathway, which is way cool. And I'm actually going to do I want my spitting plant. Spitting plants do a decent amount of damage. So what I'd like to do right now is actually show you guys how we leave. So this is the escape portal. And after like 12 turns or something like that, it takes you right back to camp. So this is how you go in and out of the Tangledeep forest, assuming that you want to continue to progress. You're not grinding for XP or JP, and you're really just kind of looking to move up through the dungeon, because it's effectively a tower. Like Tangledeep is a forest tower dungeon with an unknown amount of floors and bosses at intervals for you to defeat. So if you recall, when we were playing Sharra's story, the recommendation was that you had gone through the first 3 bosses. So the place where I died earlier that we didn't really quite go to, the guy whose food we stole, it doesn't really say specifically like, ooh, boss, or like, ooh, first boss. But based on the way that fight went and the setup, there's actually dialogue and some back and forth. He's the first boss, and you just kind of have to go through him to continue up the tower. But that first time that I played through and I died, if I was playing the heroic mode, then all I would have left are the things that I put in the safe over here. So if you don't want to play that way, you can play the way that I'm doing, which is adventure mode, where you don't necessarily want to play with all of the roguelike elements. You are looking for more of a traditional RPG experience. And there's only one save point, really. It's the campsite. Like, you can save in the dungeon, and that's fine. But if you die, you'll be brought back here. The portal won't be there anymore, and you'll have to start back on floor 1. But as we discovered, that doesn't mean that you have to do everything over again if you're playing in adventure mode. Like, all the people that you help will still have been helped. All the items that you got, you'll still have. It's just, in adventure mode, you will lose your unused job points, and you will lose half of your money at least. So, we did get a flower, or a tree seed. So, I'd like to plant it over here. So, we already have a verdant fruit leaf tree. We have a shining dazzle leaf tree. Let's plant the flowering spice bark tree. And we'll plant the mighty grain shade seed. So what this is going to do is it's going to grow trees. You can see these are little seedlings. These are starting to grow. We already got an item from one of them. You can only have these 5, at least as far as I've gotten. You can only have 5, but you can chop them down and replace them with other ones if you decide that maybe the items from a given tree aren't valuable enough anymore. Maybe you just have too many, or you just really want a different kind. So those are always options. But so far, I've had a lot of fun with this. There's a ton of different classes you can choose from, which is absolutely crazy. Like, so many. There's like 12 classes that you can choose from, and each of them has a difficulty marker. This one is not very difficult, obviously, because you can summon things to fight for you, but there are other ones where maybe you are a monk martial artist or a hunter or something like that, and for whatever reason, the spells and abilities that you have make the game a little harder to play. And I'm definitely a story player. I like playing games for the story. I definitely don't mind difficulty, but I don't like grinding very much for XP or for JP. And if you're, just a little aside, if you're unfamiliar with the concept of job points, it's a very JRPG style of play, and it's a mechanic you'll see often in JRPGs. And basically what that means, it's just an RPG that's straight from Japan, and it's made for those audiences. So and it's usually for games that you can switch jobs. So you don't just choose a class, and a class is a job. So a job and class are interchangeable in this context. So if I didn't want to be a floromancer anymore and I wanted to be that monk martial artist, I could do that. And then use my job points to increase my skills and abilities in that particular job. Whereas my XP is just like my base stats for the level that I am. So they're two different parameters, and a great game that I can recommend if you're new to that sort of idea is actually Bravely Default for the Nintendo 3DS. It is really accessible with the idea of job points versus experience points, class changes, and being able to have so much customizability in your party. But that's definitely a talk for another day. Tangledeep has been so much fun. It's got a wide variety of monsters, of things to do, of the type of gameplay that you as the player can kind of supersede onto the game. It's very open to your playstyle, regardless of what that might be. Plus, it's got some fun casual game mechanics like the Grove and the Corral, where you can make pets out of some of your monsters that you fight, and then take them off to battle with you in a similar way that my Flora bros were helping me. It's just that I can continue to spawn those, and if you have any sentimental attachment to your pet, they could die. But you can level up your pets to get them stronger and, you know, all that. It's a very, very Pocket Monster style for those. It's just kind of a fun added element, unless you're playing the DLC, which is meant to be harder, so you're not actually allowed the pets or the trees. So I would definitely recommend you try this out if you like roguelikes, if you like RPGs, and if you like games that are magical, if you really enjoyed the sort of mana game and games similar to it. I think you would really like this game, not only because of the gameplay, but also the graphic style and the different things that you can do in the game. But that is about time for us today. I hope that you all enjoyed learning more about Tangledeep and the Legend of Sharra DLC. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.